So these are both cold steel tomahawks. This is the pipe hawk, and this is the Norse hawk, I believe is what they call it. And really, as they come, not very pretty, I don't think. The heads on them, this is kind of an initial impression, very loose. You can hear that. Not sharp at all. Not sharp at all. Here's the Norse hawk, you can hear it. That one's a little bit sharper, but not sharp at all. I kind of expected that. This one I think is 30 bucks. This one is 20 bucks. So they're really, really affordable. The reason I got them is because I thought it'd be fun to mod these out. There's some really cool things you can do with these, and I love creating things, and if it deals with an edged weapon, especially one with such a fun history as these, and maybe we'll delve into that. The fun part of it, of being creative and making this into something personal, I think ought to be worth a lot more than money can buy. So here we go.
Early tomahawks were used as tools or weapons and consisted of a head made of stone or bone and mounted on a wooden handle.
That's looking at about 25 minutes.
Their use became more widespread as frontiersmen worked and traded with the Native Americans. Many frontiersmen recognized the value of the tomahawk and subsequently adopted it.
So the sticker actually preserves some of that coating on it. There's the axe head all cleaned up. Really beautiful axe head. Big blemish there you can see, most likely heat treat. So that's pretty unfortunate now that I've unhidden it. But again, for what I'm going to be using this for, hopefully it's not going to be a big deal. We'll see how it turns out in the end.
Eventually, Euro-Americans introduced the metal blade to the tomahawk concept.
Sorry, the light's not very good in my garage, but you can still get it. So this is the handle, the axe handle, and you can see that atrocious head on that. So you can see that this is where the axe actually comes up, and it's grooved that head, which is not a good thing. So you got to get rid of that, because what you want is you want that press fit with that head. So I'm going to shave that down so the head can go up there and get the appropriate fit that it needs, and we'll go from there. So what I'm going to start doing, and I got to be careful doing this, is I'm going to shave that down with a knife first, and then take a sandpaper and just go a little bit at a time.
Ornate tomahawks were presented at treaty signings as diplomatic gifts to Native American leaders, who then carried them as a sign of their prestige.
What I'm trying to fix here is you can still see the groove, it's looking better, but that doesn't give the axe head, any room to go up and be fitted to the handle. It just hits that hard stop. All right, we are there. Look at the top of this. See the top of that in comparison to what it looked like before. That alone, and the paint stripped off, makes this thing look so much more classy. But it's on there pretty good, rock solid. I'm happy with that. I don't think I'm going to take off any more. Yeah, I'm digging that.
One of the things that really fascinates me about the tomahawk is it was at once a weapon and the symbol of peace. This is my first dive into the tomahawk modding process, allowing for creativity and really an attempt to connect on a small level to a very interesting part of history. I've always enjoyed building and creating things, and this process was no exception. Another enjoyable aspect about this process was the research to learn more about the history of the tomahawk and the people that carried it. The tomahawk we know today is a very unique blend of both Native American and early frontiersmen, both of which would often personalize their own tomahawks.
There's the head all done. I went for a really dark look, so I left on the bluing before washing it off for quite some time, about, I don't know, 25-30 minutes, and turned out really good. Here's the handle. You can see I got a little mountain scene going on there on that side, and of course the bear paw on the other. So that's what it's looking like. You got to put some boiled linseed oil on this, let it dry, and I think we're done.
It was a fun attempt to connect in some small way to that extremely interesting past.
I'm now done with this thing. So it was actually 2 coats of boiled linseed oil, sanding after every coat, very light sanding, and this is the final product. I'm pretty happy with it, especially being my first time out of the gate with this process. But you can see right here we've got our mountain scene, and I did cut the grooves and burned the grooves. On the other side we've got the bear paw, the bottom towards the handle. I just took that lighter and burned those rings in there. The very ends of the handle, I did put some work into those. I think they're kind of boring as is, so just put some slight modifications there, as well as the top. You can see with that beautifully blued head. Too bad about that blemish. It is what it is. But overall, I'm real happy with this, with the way this turned out. It's a fairly simple process, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe inspire you to do your own. But again, most of it that was really interesting to me was just doing the research and connecting with the past on these tomahawks and those early settlers, those Native Americans that used these. It was really quite fascinating. Thanks much for watching, guys. This was a really fun process. We'll see you.